It's not enough to be busy. The question is, what are we busy about? Henry David Thoreau.
You're listening to Writing Roots, brought to you by Aspen House Publishing.
Welcome to Writing Roots. I'm Lee Hull.
And I'm Lee Esses. Welcome back to our series on healthy writing habits. January is a perfect time to dive in with both feet and reform yourself into the writer that you want to be. So every episode we're covering this month is about a different aspect of your writing self that can be improved and focused on in order to become that much better.
Before we get into today's topic, I want to just mention real quick that Spotify now has a way to rate podcasts. So if you could get on Spotify, if that's where you listen or wherever you listen, and just give us a star rating, that helps tremendously in helping our podcast be discovered by other people. And if you want to help us with that, it can start with a simple rating on wherever you listen.
Today's episode comes from a lot of conversations I have with aspiring authors that haven't quite finished that first manuscript yet. Why haven't they? They don't have time.
It is so difficult in the world that we live in to say that you can sit down and dedicate yourself to writing, because sometimes it feels like doing nothing. What you need to do is take a look at how much time you're spending watching Netflix. How much time are you spending scrolling endlessly through social media? How much time are you spending doing things where you're really doing nothing?
You do have to train yourself to write. It's not just a writing when having inspiration, which is always encouraged. We definitely encourage you to answer the muse whenever she strikes. But that self-discipline and managing your own time is really important in making sure that you accomplish your goals.
If you're anything like me, you have a little bit of that instant gratification. You want it to be right now. You want to do it and you want to finish it right now. You want it to be perfect right now. These are habits that are bad, that are not going to help us achieve our goals for writing, because writing takes time. So when it comes to time management with writing, it's both taking the time to actually write and taking your time writing.
I would advise a couple of things. One is don't go back and edit old projects. They are a part of your journey. You're better off starting with what you know now and continuing forward, writing that next book. If you can't think of anything to do during your writing time, it's an interesting exercise. We'll talk a little bit later about novel analysis and how to study that. But if you go back and rehash and rehash and rehash, you're never moving forward.
Just keep writing something. Make it a habit to write.
I attribute a lot of the successes I have with time management to respecting myself. A lot of that self-care helps me pursue my goals. And yes, taking those breaks make it so I can get that project done sooner. It seems a little counterintuitive, but I promise you it's a lot healthier and will help you accomplish your goals.
If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't eat right, if you don't get enough exercise or enough sleep, if all you're doing is sitting and staring at a blank page and not actually writing, consider what else you can be doing to take care of yourself, because you need self-care if you're going to write well. Another thing you need to do is take a look at your time management. If you really want to achieve a goal of writing, you may need to cut out other habits or hobbies. Don't just say, I wish I had time to write. You make time. You make it a priority.
You have the same 24 hours today as you did yesterday, as you did last January 10th. It's the same 24 hours. If you don't change what you're doing within that 24 hours, then the recipe will stay the same and you will be exactly where you were last year. For me, I have limited a lot of these other habits to just socially. I don't watch TV by myself. That's the limiter that works for me. Otherwise, if I'm by myself, then great, I have time to work on my thing.
So don't cut them out entirely, but cut them back. Make writing a priority, and still self-care, still self-indulge in those other things, but with caution, taking care to make sure it's not eating up all of your time. Another way to take care of yourself while developing good writing habits is to recognize how you talk to yourself about your writing. Change the negative thoughts and add a positive spin. So instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I can't do this yet.
I'm never going to be a great writer if I don't keep practicing.
So reanalyze, rephrase, and reframe your thinking. Don't beat yourself up over writing, otherwise it's going to become a miserable process. And that goes into our next thing to make sure you're not hating the process of writing. Make sure you take breaks.
Those breaks are going to be vital to recharging your system, to making sure that you can continue to write at a wonderful level that you are. Have you ever had a cell phone where you knew the battery was dead and you kept turning it on to check your Facebook anyway?
Oh, all the time.
You're not serving yourself or the phone by continuing to turn it on without recharging it.
So whether you are doing a marathon day, a marathon month, or just setting a daily goal to write for an hour, make sure you plan for a break. Whatever it is, make sure you're taking time away, but letting your mind relax, which means you probably shouldn't be on your phone or answering texts or doing things that keep your brain active. Take a minute and just enjoy the quiet.
For some people, that's taking a quick drive, going and getting an ice cream from the convenience store down the street, come back. Something that I can physically, my body knows what to do, but my mind can just sort of listen to the sound and relax.
And remember that taking a break, that resting does not make you a failure or a quitter. It is a time to recharge. It's okay to be exhausted because of life stuff. Life happens. Life gets in the way. If you need to take that time, do it. Take those breaks. Don't beat yourself up for it because it's good for you. Just don't let that day break or that week break turn into a year of a break.
One of the best tips you can come across for time management is to stop multitasking. That means don't have your Facebook open while you're typing up your story. Don't edit while you're typing up the story.
Speaking as a master multitasker, it minimizes efficiency the more things that you have to do at the same time. So when it comes to writing, make sure that is what you do. Get rid of the other distractions. If you have pets or kids or husbands or wives, they will try to distract you as you write. Try to set up a very firm, my writing time is not distraction time. Unless somebody is dead or dying, don't interrupt me.
It's very easy for them to see you looking out the window and go, now is a great time to interrupt them. When really we know as artists that looking out the window is some of our most productive time. An important thing, and you can repeat this after me as I say it, is this is important to me. Can what you're asking for wait for 20 minutes? That's something you need to allow yourself to say. Because if you don't, you are prioritizing Paw Patrol over your writing.
Now, if you must multitask, say you really need to get your laundry done or wash the dishes, do everything you can to not mentally multitask. Use the machines. Let the crock pot cook dinner. Once you get it prepared, throw it in the crock pot, go write. Let the laundry machine do the work.
And let the machines wait for you. Just because the dryer buzzer went off doesn't mean you interrupt this thought that you're typing. The machine has nothing better to do than to wait for you. Prioritize your writing and get to the machine when you can.
They're there to make your life better, not to increase your anxiety.
The last thing on the stop multitasking is one of the things I have the most trouble with, and that is my tea gets cold 20 minutes into my writing, and so I will stand up and walk away from my computer to heat up my tea. This goes back to scheduling your breaks. Yes, give yourself those breaks. Schedule it on the hour, on the half hour, whatever it is, and then my tea can wait until my scheduled break. I only have 10 more minutes to go. I will focus on this until then.
So our challenge for you at this end of the episode is to develop a habit of better time management and taking care of yourself with your writing habits. So for the next 21 days, we want you to add the word yet or spin some way every negative thought you have about yourself into something better.
Something optimistic. It will be difficult. It's especially difficult for me to not come back with a sarcastic response after that, but then spin that one too. This will help you change how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your writing. You and your writing are deeply intertwined. That's why we say don't write for audiences. Make sure that you are enjoying what you write. Make sure that you
write selfishly.
If you have a question or comment for our hosts or a topic you'd like us to cover, send us an email at writingroots@aspenhousepublishing.com or find us on Facebook by searching for Aspen House Publishing.